What if I told you there's a plan in place to see millions and millions of Americans pay zero income tax? But not only that, we are talking about an additional plan to see tax cuts to working class Americans. This is something that multiple lawmakers have been discussing for several months, but one U.S. senator is now bringing this plan forward. I want to explain who this senator is and why what this senator has to say is actually very important, because they are seen as potentially a deciding vote in what President Trump is trying to do at this time. So I'm going to break all this down in just a moment, explain what is going on and how you could be impacted by having more money in your bank account. So make sure you stick around and watch this entire video, and I'll explain exactly what is going on. But before I do, all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So yes, it is true. There is a plan in place that President Donald Trump wants to eliminate all income taxes. We did hear from some people within the White House saying that's for people that make $150,000 or less. But others are saying we need to provide more benefits to those that are making $80,000 or less. So I'm going to break this down in a second, but look at this. It says the Trump administration is making progress on a tax plan, according to the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Now, when he was asked, when is this going to be done? When will we see this be accomplished? He said that the plan is hopefully before July 4th. Look at this. It says, so tariffs are the majority of publicity now, but we were having very good luck, or very, very good progress. It's not luck because it's been a lot of hard work on the tax bill. So the tax bill is moving through the Senate, moving through the House. I think we're going to have some permanence for the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act probably by 4th of July. And I think that will give people certainty. That is what he said just today. Now, it's what else is being talked about. Look at this right here. Again, I'm bringing this to your attention because President Trump has been saying that he would like to see an elimination of taxes on Social Security benefits, eliminate taxes on overtime income, and also on tips. But guess what? Senator Josh Hawley is taking it one step forward. Senator Josh Hawley says working class Americans should get a payroll tax cut. This is different. This is a payroll tax cut. I'll explain it. Okay, let me read this to you right here. It says, Senator Josh Hawley, who could emerge as a key vote on President Trump's agenda, says working class Americans should be able to take tax deductions on their payroll taxes, which would save thousands of dollars for families earning less than $80,000 per year. It says, Hawley, who has already come out against steep cuts to Medicaid, is laying down another marker for lower and middle income individuals and families in his home state by arguing that working class Missourians should also see their taxes cut this year. Again, he's pushing for it in his home state, but there's other reports that say it's starting there, but he wants to see this on a federal level. Let's keep reading. It says, the negotiations over President Donald Trump's big, beautiful budget bill have to date, including surprisingly little talk of tax cuts for the people who need them most, the America's working class. That's what Senator Josh Hawley said. But I want to read this to you. This is also what he had to say. It says blue-collar workers haven't gotten a real pay raise in decades. Mortgages are unaffordable, rent is unaffordable, groceries are unaffordable. That's what he wrote. All of this takes a toll on the spirit as much as the checkbook. Now let me ask you this. If you received a deduction, okay, on your payroll taxes, would that help you? Could you see a benefit there? Let me keep reading this, okay? But then you can answer it in a moment. It says Senator Josh Hawley says Republicans can start repairing the eroding buying power of working class Americans by giving them the biggest working class tax cut in our history. He says They should make the largest income tax credits, the home mortgage deduction, the child tax credit, and the charitable deduction available to all Americans who pay payroll taxes, which fund Social Security and Medicare. He noted those popular tax credits, which provide billions of dollars in tax relief per year, are unavoidable or unavailable to millions of Americans who pay little to nothing in income tax, but who still pay a significant chunk of their income in payroll taxes. I want to read you some numbers here, okay, just to give you an idea of what this could save. Look at this. Senator Josh Hawley wrote that this would save a local pastor of a small church with 6 children who makes roughly $80,000 a year more than $6,000 in taxes in 1 year. He said it would provide a $7,500 tax break to a police officer's family that pays $33,000 a year in daycare costs for 2 girls. Yeah, we could see a substantial savings, but again, I bring this up because President Trump is saying he wants to see the elimination of federal income taxes on Social Security benefits, on overtime income, and on tips. That right there is a pretty big savings for those that, for one, collect Social Security and pay taxes. 2, people that are actually working overtime and paying a decent amount of taxes there. And also people that get paid tips. So people in the service industry. It's going to save them a lot of money, but also means more money in their pocket, which then they can go and use and spend within the economy. Look at this. Senator Josh Hawley even wrote, every working family could use the money, and they deserve it. They earned it after all. Republicans should get back to doing what they once did best, cutting taxes for the people who make this nation work. Keep in mind, the majority of Americans are not the top 1%. Okay? They're not the top 1%. The top 1% is dictating everything. But it's everyone else that's making the country run. That's spending our money to pay for the revenue and the billions of dollars that go into Elon Musk's pocket. Okay, to Jeff Bezos. Okay, it's us that are making those companies as valuable as they are. I want to keep reading this. It says right here, Hawley's proposal comes while Republican negotiators are reviewing other proposals to provide more tax relief to Americans who don't pay much in income taxes, specifically people who earn most of their income from tips and seniors who live on fixed incomes. Says President Donald Trump, during his address last month, called on lawmakers to exempt tipped income from taxation and to shield Social Security benefits from taxation as well. Those 2 proposals would cost an estimated $200 billion and $1.5 trillion over a 10-year period. So, what I can tell you right now is there's still a lot of discussions being had whether or not we can actually afford to take our taxes right now and say, okay, anybody makes less than $150,000 per year, you don't have to pay any federal income tax. But again, where do we make up that loss in revenue? Well, look at this. It says right here, fiscal hawks on Capitol Hill are mulling proposals to offset tax relief for lower and middle income Americans by raising corporate taxes or taxes on the wealthy. Here's what they're talking about. 2 proposals being floated around right now are letting the top marginal income tax rate revert from 37% to 39.6%. This again would bring in a decent amount of revenue, or creating a new tax bracket for people who earn more than $1 million annually. That's what they're discussing. Senator Josh Hawley, he says, I think we need to cut taxes for working folks. So if the president wants to offset that, then I'm definitely open to it. I would go so far as to argue that the core of his base, so we need to do something for those folks. Keep this in mind, because some people are saying there's no way Republicans are going to cut taxes entirely. They could. And you know why they could? Well, according to a few Democrats, they are concerned that what Republicans are about to do is going to be potentially a big game changer for the American people, because Republicans could potentially give them a massive boost, a large increase. And the reason why they're potentially going to do that is because there's a midterm election in 2026 that Republicans cannot lose. If Republicans lose seats in the House or in the Senate, President Trump is going to have a difficult 2 years. So we're going to see what happens. But what I can tell you right now is Democrats believe that Republicans have something up their sleeve in order to pretty much game the system and ensure that they actually win more seats in the upcoming election, which means they are going to provide more benefits, potentially stimulus, cut taxes, and do more for the American people, even though it could potentially hurt the country. So we're going to see what happens moving forward. All I can tell you right now is that's all we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.